Hi everyone, it's Lucy and welcome to my channel. So you finally decided to start eating healthier. All throughout the week, you've been having healthy, balanced meals, drinking plenty of water, and exercising. Friday night comes around and you have a night out planned. Now you plan on getting your usual salad and maybe just having one drink of alcohol on the side. But what ends up happening is you really want to try a slice of your friend's pizza. So you do it, but then you tell yourself that everything is just ruined, and then you have another slice and order a pizza for yourself. Then you have another drink, and then you have some nachos and cheese, and before you know it, you're splurging on anything and everything that you can get your hands on. You wake up the next morning feeling full and bloated. All of your healthy eating plans seem pointless with all of the food that you just had in the previous day. You might as well turn your cheat meal into a cheat day, or why not even a cheat weekend? I mean, eating healthy is pointless now that you've had all of these extra calories. Why not just enjoy it while you're at it, eat all the food you can, and you'll just start fresh again on Monday. I mean, that makes more sense. If this sounds familiar, then you probably have a case of the all or nothing mentality. This could be the reason why you keep on sabotaging your diet. Thankfully, I'm here to give you a few ways on how you can get out of this vicious cycle. First of all, what is the all or nothing mentality? So the all or nothing mentality, which is also referred to as black or white thinking, is when you consider things to be either all good or all bad. Whenever things aren't perfect, then it's considered a failure, and perfectionists often adopt this all or nothing mentality. This way of thinking keeps you stuck, unhealthy, and miserable. It prevents you from eating in moderation and traps you in a restrict-then-binge eating cycle. And by the way, if you're interested in learning how to stop binge eating, then check out the video I made about that. I will be putting it right here and also in the description. All rational thinking is thrown out the window with this mentality, because you know that eating more will not undo all the food you've just eaten, yet you do it anyway. So why do you do it? The first reason is that you might want to feel in control. This might be because your whole entire life is spiraling out of control, and your food intake may be the only thing that you can actually control. On the opposite side of the spectrum, you might also have a completely controlled and organized life, from your work to your exercise routine, so why should eating be any different? You might also believe that reaching X size, losing X amount of pounds, or fitting into this certain dress is the answer to all of your problems, and that once you reach that, you will finally achieve happiness. Now, if these things ring true, then you might be wondering, okay, then if I want to control things so bad, then why am I losing it half the time? This can be caused by two things. First of all, the constant control is exhausting. Every single time you eat, you're thinking about your weight, and this is often very subconscious. You're thinking that all of your meals need to be perfectly healthy and balanced, that you can't afford to gain a single ounce, and you even actually like to lose a few pounds if you could. Every time you have a treat, you try to justify it to yourself. I mean, it's just exhausting for your body. So some days you just can't handle all the pressure and control anymore, so you just lose it. And it starts with eating a cookie and ends with a full-on cheat week. Another reason for this is that you may be using it as an excuse to eat whatever you want. Frequent binge eating episodes might actually be your body's way of telling you that it does not want to be on this restrictive diet. Your subconscious is extremely powerful. Chances are, if you're doing something that you don't want to be doing, then you'll find a way to get out of it. Say it's Sunday morning and you decided to get up early for a run. When your alarm clock rings, you start looking out of the covers and you see that it's raining and that you're super tired, and also you feel that you have a little headache coming along. So you tell yourself that going for a run would be really unreasonable, and you slide back comfortably into your covers. And the same thing goes for your food intake. If you know that you're not allowed to eat certain foods because you're on a diet, and you know that the only way that you'll be able to eat these foods is by breaking this diet, then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna break that diet. Basically, after dieting for a while, the urge to eat your favorite junk food becomes stronger and stronger. Since you explicitly forbade yourself from having these foods, then if you just have a small slice of pizza, which is no problem in the long run, you're just going to say, oh well, while I'm at it, I might as well have the whole pizza and add those 2 buckets of ice cream as well, because you know that this is the only way that you'll be able to indulge in these foods. By indulging, you're giving yourself the permission to eat all of these foods and to eat as much as you want. And in your head, it doesn't really count because it's not part of your diet. It's just something else, something that you're removing from your diet. It's another part of yourself, the part of yourself that binges and eats all of the food, but it's not part of the well-controlled diet. So how can you get out of this all or nothing mentality? Well, first of all, and you're probably seeing this coming if you watch some of my videos, but you need to ditch the diet mentality. This is the reason for all of this in the first place. You wouldn't be feeling the need to go all in with your food if you weren't restricting yourself in the first place. And you wouldn't be restricting if you weren't so terrified of gaining weight. And guess what? You wouldn't be so terrified of gaining weight if you weren't so ingrained in diet culture. So please stop looking up at the people who promote drastic weight loss methods, detox diets, and diet pills. Instead, find some who are body positive and encourage a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Another thing you really have to do is to stop expecting perfection. Like I mentioned previously, a lot of perfectionists adopt the all or nothing mentality. And you really need to stop putting that pressure on yourself. No one can have the perfect diet. It's impossible. You will inevitably be disappointed if that's what you strive for, if you strive for perfection in your diet. Instead, try to eat mostly healthy or have mainly balanced meals. That's what I always tell myself. And that way, you won't feel bad if you have some pizza or if you have some ice cream. Another tip I have for you is that you should really not have any off-limits foods. As I explained earlier, if you give yourself too many restrictions, then you're just going to end up finding excuses to break the rules and have these foods anyway. So you really need to stop giving food that much power. You can have a nice meal of lentils, broccoli, and sweet potato, for instance, and have a cookie for dessert. That's absolutely fine, and it can even diminish your chances of eating the entire box of cookies when Friday night comes around. If no foods are off limits and can be eaten whenever you want, then you really don't have any reason to be binging on them. You also need to realize that every little bit counts. If you catch yourself in the middle of a binge, you need to stop and ask yourself, why don't I stop eating this entire bag of chips now so that I can save an extra 300 calories? And even if it's going to seem small compared to the thousands of calories you just had, that's not the way your body works. Excessive calories will be stored and will need to be burned off. And if you're not eating those 300 more, then that's 300 less that you're going to have to burn off. So it will be helpful. Anything is helpful. So you might as well save yourself that extra little bit. Also, you need to make sure that you reward yourself after you're able to stop, and that you acknowledge that you are in control and can stop this whenever you want. This will help turn the guilt into pride and limit emotional comfort eating. And the more you do it, the stronger you will become. And finally, you really need to quit starting over. Like, oh, it's Saturday brunch. I had too much to eat. Well, while I'm at it, why not just eat anything I want during the whole weekend and start fresh on Monday? I mean, you probably realize how ridiculous this sounds, yet so many people think like this. It makes no difference to your body whether you decide to start eating healthy on a Thursday night or on a Monday morning. You don't need to start your diet over every 5 seconds every time you hit a minor bump in the road. I mean, would you tear down your entire house because your floorboards creaked too much or because your faucet leaked? Imagine if all these times you had the burger or eaten the fries or had the ice cream. Imagine if you'd stopped there instead of binging for a whole day. Where would you be now? So the urge to have total control and the strive towards perfectionism drives the all or nothing mentality. This is something many people struggle with and find very difficult to stop. I hope that this video showed you that you really have to let go of both a diet culture and perfectionism and really be kind to yourself. No food should be off limits. Slip-ups should be followed by healthy eating to balance it out and not by an entire day of binging. You need to stop quitting and starting over. This is the way for a healthy, sustainable lifestyle change. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye!